Welcome back, guys. I'm Pat Check JW, and we're gonna talk about this Steven Seagal thing because you know what? With the last uh, video we made here, about my recent pickups, and I purchased a couple of his movies, and then um, my buddy Joe over there in California, he said, "Oh, yeah, I like the early ones," and let's go ahead and break things down here because I'm gonna say some stuff about his movies that maybe perhaps not everybody even knows or has seen. I thought I can't be the only one that has witnessed some of this stuff that's in these movies. All right, let's start this off by saying this straight up. I grew up with his movies. I have my grandma loved Steven Seagal. We had on video, we had the originals, of course, like Above the Law, Out for Justice, Hard to Kill, Under Siege, and we wore the VCRs out. I mean, just watching those over and over and over again. I can't even count how many times I've seen those. So I don't have all of them, but I have quite a few of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of set this up. All right. This is actually a really cool set that I got right here. This is got on Blu-ray, and I actually have already owned Above the Law on Blu-ray, but what I really bought this for was Under Siege 2 on Blu-ray, because honestly, even though a lot of people say Under Siege 2 was like, I actually thought it was really good. Under Siege 2 is not bad at all. Of course, you got the classics Under Siege and Above the Law. And there's a cliche thing with Steven Seagal. He's always a cop, he's always ex-CIA or some operative or some special forces dude. That's just what you expect. I mean, it's always, and it's like so funny, like you can read the descriptions and stuff. And I'm referring to like these ones that he just started, like literally they were just like open to floodgates and just start letting them out. Like, I don't know if the guy was like going broke and he was just pretty much taking any script that came along, and it's like, hey, here, read this script. It's like, who am I? You're Jonathan Gold, the next CIA agent, and you're going in to kill all the bad guys. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, give me a 1911 and I'm doing it. So that's the other, I mean, that's a cool thing about him, though. He always carries a 1911. And I love 1911, so it's kind of hard not to watch them. So, of course, Above the Law, Under Siege 2, you have Hard to Kill. Let's see here. Hard to Kill. It's got Kelly LeBrock in it. But, another one that I remember, watching this 1,000 times on VHS. And there's the cool, he's got his 1911 and he's looking really cool. And even in the front, this is the old original cover I remember too. That's what's so neat about this. You can actually see it. You can see the cross checkered grips that he's got there, which I think Herder's makes them. I actually lost the set I used to have in a trade. But you can tell he's got like a Colt Mark IV, probably a Series 80 or something, or a Series 70. It's a stainless 1911 with the 3 holes drilled in the trigger to look cool. It's kind of that in-between breakthrough of like really cool, kind of what they were trying to upgrade the 1911 with. All right, Out for Justice. Really cool. Based in Brooklyn, New York. So he's got that accent, He's always looking for Gina, or no, he's always looking for Bobby. Anybody, or Richie, yeah, that's right. The whole movie, I saw the running joke with me and some of the guys at work. We talk about this movie, because the whole movie, it's just all you need to know. He's looking for Richie. So everywhere he turns, he's looking for Richie. But anyway, really neat movie. Again, one of the fab originals that is absolutely really good. And it's like, I love when he's like, hey, the kid calls him, he says, I just seen Richie, he's at this place. He goes, I know that place, get out of there now. So all right. And then when he, as Joe mentioned, yes, we're talking about the hippie ones. On Deadly Ground. I actually like this one. This is actually not a bad one, because you got Michael Caine in it, and he's just like, I don't know. There's a scene in this that I've always liked, and it's when he goes up to his he goes to his friend Hugh's place or whatever. He goes up there and he's looking through his like duffel bag, And that's the funny thing is he's always got a duffel bag full of guns and all this. Like it's like above the law. The guy's like, "What are you talking about, Nico?" He goes, "You want to know what I'm talking about? I'll show you what I'm talking about." Pulls out this duffel bag, opens it up. It's got tons of guns in it, 1911 shotguns, everything like that. And you know what the fantastic part is? You never see any of that. So, anyway, this one on Deadly Ground, he goes in there. He goes, "Hey," he's looking through his bag. He goes, "Still got my 45." There's a really funny scene in this where, so Michael Caine is the oil rig owner of Aegis Oil or something. Yeah, it's about in Alaska, and he's doing this commercial, and he's like, "Here at Aegis Oil, we care about all these animals," and there's all these animals around him, and then the camera's like, "Cut," and he goes, "Damn, these animals stink." He goes, "Get this out of my sight. Give me a washcloth." All right. And one of the last ones I think of that whole thing is, I don't actually have the covers anymore. Marked for Death. Yes, Marked for Death. As my father said, that's the one he goes and beats up all the reggae guys. So in it, he's going after all the Jamaicans and stuff like that. Of course, you know, you couldn't have it just, you know, exactly like that sounds really bad. So there's actually his buddies that go and help him. They happen to be, some of them were Jamaican and, you know, of African descent. So, you know, you couldn't just have that. You could see where that was going to be a problem, even for back then. All right. So now as we move on, and I remember this was the first time things got really, really cheesy. The Patriot. He's a scientist or something. He creates a tea to help to fight. You know, creates this vaccine to help fight the sickness in town that's happening. It's spreading all over the place. I remember when that came out. It was on VHS. My dad and I rented it. We saw it, and we were like asking the guy, one of the guys that worked there at this video show place. We were asking him, "So what do you think of this movie?" And he's like, he goes, "Well, he's getting old, you know, he's a little pudgy and slow." That was the first time I heard that. And sure enough, we watched it. I think if I remember right, my dad and I were like, "It's not that bad," but it wasn't that great either. Okay. Now we enter, like, I don't know what happened. Now, I actually, at one point, was buying these up. It started with me finding a couple, I think two, in the $5 bin at Walmart. That's where it started for me. And then after that, I just started buying them as they came out. For a long time there, I mean, I have an addictive personality. So when I get addicted to something, I tend to do it to death. And that's just what I do. And this was one of those moments where I was just nonstop. And I was purchasing all of these. And my buddies that were around me when I was doing this, like going to Walmart and literally, no matter what right when it hit the shelf, I bought it. They thought I was nuts. It started off with a couple of them here. Now we're just gonna go through the whole thing. All right? I'm just gonna list off the names right away. We got Belly of the Beast, Driven to Kill, Attack Force, which I don't even remember. That's how bad that one is. Out of Reach, which actually is one of more of my favorite ones, and we'll talk about that one. Mercenary for Justice, Out for a Kill. Not joking about that one either. Literally out for a kill. Okay. Into the Sun, Today You Die, Black Dawn, Ticker, The Keeper, Flight of Fury, The Foreigner, which you guys saw, Submerged, and there's like other ones too, like Shadow Man, A Dangerous Man, A Good Man, Absolution, Maximum Conviction. I'm not even making this up. I don't even know. There's many more. Believe me, there's many more. The Keeper. I don't know if I mentioned the Keeper. Did I mention the Keeper? There's just way too many. So, okay. Now in between a lot of that, he had two that went to the theater in the transition of this. Exit Wounds with the rapper DMX, which was not too bad. Exit Wounds is actually pretty good. Then he did another one with another rapper named Ja Rule. That one was called Half Past Dead. Again, not too bad, but I mean, it could have been better, but not, you know. And it's like, I remember, like, even Ja Rule goes, you know what, Sash, you're crazy. And he goes, cuckoo crazy. Like, who writes this stuff? So, then of course he did Machete, with Danny Trejo. That was, he plays Torres or something. He plays the bad guy in it, and he dies and stuff. Anyway, but, okay, let's talk about some of this goofy stuff that's happening in it. And, okay, I think it's this one. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Out for a Kill. He's an archaeologist. Okay, he goes to this thing to appraise these artifacts that they're digging up out of the sand or something like that. It's in Asia somewhere, something like that. Okay, and I think maybe it's because never mind, I wouldn't go there. He's sitting there looking at this thing, and now it's like blazing hot out, and he's like in this leather trench coat, and he's sitting there. And this guy goes walking over and steps on one of the artifacts and breaks it, right? And he's like, who's this guy over here? And then, like, you know, they're like, oh, I don't know who that is or whatever like that. And he goes, I don't know, you know, this guy comes here, steps on artifacts. And it's like, doesn't make... And that's the thing is funny. I don't know if he's, like, got a voiceover because he whispers through all his movies. And he doesn't, like, talk very loud. So, like, I think they, like, got somebody to, like, overdub his voice in some of the scenes. And it's just ridiculous. Moving on to one of the ones that I think is probably by far one of the most ridiculous, but yet most entertaining. I watch these with that in mind. This is going to be a joke. It's more comedy than it is anything else. And that one's Out of Reach. Out of Reach, he plays like this guy that has a communication through letters with this girl, and she's younger, which is kind of weird that he's like a pen pal with her. Anyway, she gets caught up in this foreign trafficking thing. I don't know if it's like Russian or Ukrainian, something like that. She goes missing. He starts trying to find her, and there's this one scene where he's like, he's walking through and this boy like pickpockets him and grabs his glasses, right? So what you see is you see him go, turns around, he's like, and then you hear a voice go, that's fast. And then he has the glasses in hand, and you don't see his lips moving, you don't even see him talking. And it's like, not fast enough. Like, you know, so it moves on. They get into this, like, shootout in his brothel. They're at the end, both ends of the hallway, and they're shooting at each other, right? And they run out of ammo. You can tell, slides to the rear. His 1911's out, but he puts a fresh mag in, but he doesn't drop the slide. And the guy he's fighting against goes, hey, he goes, guess what? I'm out of ammo. And he goes, really? He goes, yeah, see? Look. And he holds up his slide's in there, and he goes, and Steven Seagal, and it's like not even his voice either. He goes, what a coincidence. I'm out of ammo too. See? Look. And then the guy goes, hey man, he goes, I was just kidding. And he drops the slide. He goes, I was just kidding too. And then he shoots him. Not even making that up. So later in the movie, he's going, and he's finally met up with the ultimate bad guy. The blonde guy with the white shirt or whatever. He's always in fancy clothes. Steven Seagal goes walking down the stairs, and it's from a distant shot. It's not him. It's clearly not him walking down the stairs. It's like a stand-in guy. And then they get into this fight, and Steven Seagal gets kind of like in behind the guy. He's like trying to like choke him or something. So the guy elbows him like three times or something in like the sternum, and like each elbow shot is like followed up with this like sound effect of like boom, boom, and it's like shows him, and he's like taking the hits, and you see him going oh like that, and then he finally goes Like, what? And then he goes out and then he's like, so he's fighting with the guy. Finally, they go, hey, he's like, he goes, why don't we go outside and handle this like gentlemen and not in front of the little girl? And the guy goes, what? So he decocks his 1911, sets it underground. Guy's holding Glock 17 and decocks that one and sets it on top. How the heck he decocked the striker fire gun, I don't know. It wasn't a P99 where it actually has a striker decocker, but nope, he had a Glock 17. I still, to this day, don't know how you decock a Glock 17. I don't know. But anyway, they go outside and they fight, and then he winds up killing the guy, and then he slices him with the sword, and he's like this, and he goes, oh, and he notices the girl's looking at him, so he goes, and he puts it away, and weird, very weird scene, and that's Out of Reach. The other scene that's really strange is, I'm trying to think, is it Belly of the Beast? Ah, man, there's so many bad ones. We'll have to come back to that one because I'm trying to remember if it was bad or Belly of the Beast, or it really doesn't matter. But now this started, if you look at it, I don't know if it's even back before that, but if you look at his movies, and this I remember from, I noticed it in Under Siege 2. I noticed it Under Siege 2. Because I noticed it in the other movies first. Then I noticed it in Under Siege 2. So that's as far back as I can remember he started doing this. Let's see, when was Under Siege 2 released? Under Siege 2, had to be in the 90s. 95. Okay, 95, Under Siege 2 came out. So as far back as that. He gets shot in the shoulder. And Morris Chestnut goes, oh man, did you get shot? And he goes, you think this is being shot? And he goes, this ain't being shot. If I remember right, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe he's using a gun. But at some point in his movies, he started doing this flipping the bird thing. I'm not joking. In fact, I just watched, It's Out for a Kill, where he's on the table and he's talking, or it might be Submerged, and he's like sitting there and goes, this, no. And he like puts it away. And then in Today You Die is one of the more worse ones that you see it in Today You Die. They're walking, he's got his hands in his coat, and he goes, you better watch up over there. And he puts it back in his pocket. Like, what the heck? I'm not making it up. If you watch it carefully, that's what he does. He like goes like this, and then he goes, and he puts it in his pocket. Like, what the? And then in Machete is really, really apparent that he's doing it. He gets stuck with the sword, and he's like, see this? This ain't nothing. This. And he's doing it all too often to me to think, I don't know if that's like an inside joke or that's something he's just like laughing about, but he does it in a lot of his movies. He's constantly doing that. And it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. Let's see here. I don't remember which one it was. There's another thing that he was doing, but anyway. That is Steven Seagal's rundown of his movies that I can't even remember them all. He has released so many movies. It's unbelievable. It really is. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot of stuff I'm forgetting because there's so much of it that's like absolutely ridiculous. But I guess you'll have to watch them if you dare to find out more, if you can stomach them. Like I said, I watch them because they're funny. I get a crack out of it. They're kind of, I don't go into it expecting like a serious movie or anything like that. They're just super funny. And don't ask me about his hair because I couldn't tell you. I have no idea what he's been doing with his hair or anything like that. I don't know. By the way, the Submerged does have some of the worst dialogue ever. That is when he's actually really talking. So, there you have it.